What's up, family? Let me end this. Puppy is not cooperating, Sarah. So once I get her, I will show you. How is everyone doing this evening? I'm super excited to be back. Yay, Shauna. Let me spotlight myself. Perfect. Come here, puppy. Okay. This is for Sarah. There you go. Wow, we're back. Another Woke Wednesday. Super excited to be back in New York. Home. Well, I wouldn't say that so much. I miss West Palm Beach. Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, last week we were out in West Palm Beach, had such an amazing, incredible weekend with the family, with the team, the squad, learning such incredible information to boost us into the next quarter. And I'm just so excited for the future, so excited for what's to come, and so excited for the present moment. It really just made me really excited and put me in this state of momentum and gratitude for where I've been, right? We speak a lot about gratitude, and you guys can go ahead and drop something you're grateful for. I think that would be a good way to start off the call tonight. If you're on the live and you're not used to doing something like this, just drop something that you're grateful for. When you're in a state of gratitude, that's how you receive the things that you want in your life, right? If you're not grateful for the things you have, you won't get the things that you want. Oh, I'm so grateful for you too, my bestie. I love you, Shauna. But I'm so happy and grateful for life, for another breath to be taken, for waking up this morning. I'm super happy and grateful for the internet, for Wi-Fi. Thank you, God. I'm so happy and grateful for my team, my squad, Trade House, I Am Mastery Academy. I'm so happy and grateful for my puppy, Shayna, for my niece, Aaliyah, for my sister, my brothers, my family. I'm so happy and grateful for who I am becoming, the woman that I am, the things that I've been through that have gotten me to the place where I am in my life today. I'm super happy and grateful for health, wealth, happiness, peace, meditation, Abraham. That's like, we always start off our calls with Abraham. If you guys don't know Esther and Jerry Hicks, go out and get yourself the book, Ask and It Is Given. I'm telling you, it'll change your life. If you don't want to go out and get the book, go on YouTube, just like I do before our Woke Wednesday calls every week, and just play a video. They have so many. They do, what's it called? See, I always get caught on my words. Just like, I'm thinking so much all the time that I trip up on my words, but they do presentations, like not webinars. I'm so used to saying webinars, but like presentations. And they are recorded. So they're actually live with people answering their questions. And that's what we listen to every single Woke Wednesday in the beginning. I am a wonderful communicator. I am affirming everything that I want in my life. And that is something that we all need to practice. And that is something that I'm going to go over tonight. And after last weekend, I learned a lot, and I've just been thinking a lot about Rest in Paradise, Bob Proctor, who was associated and still is with our incredible, amazing company, I Am Mastery Academy, and someone who personally changed my life about, exactly 1 year ago in March. I became I started learning the teachings of Bob Proctor. I was introduced to him by my girl, Taylor Hieto. Shout out to Taylor. I love you. But she had started preaching his logic, his philosophy, and I followed her right along. And I'm so grateful for that. Thank you again, Taylor. And it has just changed my life. That time, 1 year ago, full blown into my entrepreneurial journey. As humans, we go through things constantly, right? Just because you become an entrepreneur, you find your passion or the thing that you love to do, does not mean that things stop happening to you and that life just stops, right? So let me just get this wrapper out of your mouth before you choke. So again, a year ago, last year in March, I was going through some things, and law of attraction, I was looking, I was searching. I didn't know what I was searching for, but I was searching for something that was going to bring me closer to my creator, something that was going to teach me how to become more humble, how to deal with the stresses of life. Because at that moment, I didn't know how. I didn't know how to deal with things in a healthy, positive way, right? I would get in my own way constantly. I knew about personal development, but not to the extent that I was shown. And I'm just super grateful because without that, I don't think I would be even able to share Woke Wednesdays with you guys, because so much of the stuff I teach and that I preach is because of what I've learned from Bob Proctor and from my deep study into myself. And I think that's something that we all need to start doing, is taking a little bit more inventory of ourselves and what we're doing in our lives and check it. Are the things I'm doing getting me the results that I want? Now it's rhetorical. You don't have to answer me right now on Woke Wednesday, but make a list, right? Take inventory on yourself. Are the things you're doing on a day-to-day basis getting you to where you want to be? If so, great, continue. If not, you have to change. And it's not so easy. We are conditioned to think, do, and be the way that we are. So it's not just a simple fix to change the things that you do. We're habitual beings, right? So from birth, we've been programmed, we're genetically conditioned, as well as conditioned by our environments to act a certain way, to think a certain way, to do things a certain way. Bob says in a lot of his teachings, like, why do you like the foods that you like to eat? Right? When you were a baby, when you were a toddler, you weren't in charge of the food that was given to you. You were given foods that your parents liked to eat. If your parents didn't like to eat broccoli, they're not going to feed you broccoli. If your parents didn't like cheesecake, they're not going to let you try cheesecake because they're not eating it themselves. So we are conditioned by our environments. If your parents or your grandparents didn't go to church or temple, you weren't going to church or temple, right? So we are conditioned by our environment, by the people, places, and things around us. As babies, we're super open to everything coming in, right? So we're super, super, super delicate, right? And you have to think of yourself as that baby. Every single thing that comes into our space, that comes into our mind, these ideas and thoughts and everything we watch, everything we listen to, we have to be careful, right? We really have to watch the things that we're allowing ourselves to listen to. We have to watch the things that we're allowing ourselves to watch, right? Our senses are how we interpret our environment. We see, hear, smell, taste, and touch, right? Most of us have all five. We see, hear, smell, taste, and touch. That is how we interact with our environment, right? That is how ideas come into our mind. for the most part, right? But we have spiritual senses as well. So not only are we able to see, hear, smell, taste, and touch things that get implemented into our subconscious by constant spaced repetition, we're able to program our own minds through our spiritual senses, right? Our will, our reason, our imagination, right? Our intuition. So we have to be super conscious and aware of the things that we're listening to. Now, I'm not telling you to go give up. What's up, Talia? To go give up everything that you love, but I'm giving you an example. And shout out to Neno, Mornings with Neno. If you guys know Neno, drop some sevens for Neno. He's someone that I look up to, an incredible mentor. If you don't know who he is, go check him out on YouTube, Mornings with Neno. He has podcasts all over the place. But he always says, if you're not in a place where you want to be, why are you listening to music constantly to the point where you know every single word? Not only do you know every single word, but you know every single little like thing that happens in the background, like Migos, like, oh, like all those little like things in the background that you know every little thing about that song. But do you know every word to an audio about how to make money, about how to change your paradigm? Why is that? So if you're not in a place in your life where you are happy, where you are fulfilled, where you feel like you're at your best, maybe you shouldn't be listening to music as much at this point. Now, I'm not saying to give it up, because music is my savior. I love music. It's gotten me through a lot of hard times as well. But if there is something else that I can feed my subconscious mind that's going to help me, instead of listening to songs about murders and killings and, drugs and war, and listening to the news about what's going on. And, this weekend I heard one of my mentors, Alex Morton, talk about one of his personal encounters with Bob Proctor. And he asked Bob, what do you think about the vid? And he said, I don't. Bob straight up said, I don't. He did not allow anything negative to come into his environment. He did not allow any talk about negativity, about unhealthiness, about anything that was going to shape him in any way, shape, or form. We all need to get a little bit better and a little bit more aware on what we're feeding our mind. Now, we have two parts of our mind, and I was trying to clean off my whiteboard, but I don't think that this one's working. So let's see if we can get the big one and if this is going to work. Let me turn off my background. Excuse my room, guys. Okay, so let's see if this is gonna work. Okay. That can work. I'll make it work. Okay, so we have two parts to our minds, right? So if you don't know what the mind looks like, which if you do, please holla at me after this, because I would love to know how you're doing that. No one has ever seen a picture of the mind. No one has ever seen a picture of the mind. When I ask you, what does the mind look like? You're inclined usually to think of your brain. But our brain, excuse my drawings, this is the brain. Our brain is not the mind. Our brain is an instrument of the mind, but our brain is not the mind. Now I know this is going to be backwards for you guys, so I'm sorry, but hopefully you can still get it. Okay. So Bob, my mentor, taught me how to see an image of the mind because we think in images. That is how we learn. We think in images, in pictures. So in order to understand the mind, you have to first see it, right? So Bob showed us a picture that we can refer to when we're talking about the mind. This is called the stick figure. Okay. So this is how you can think of the mind. Whenever you're like, how do I study this? This is how you study. Now we have two. This is something I wanted to remember, so I'm not going to delete that. We have two parts of the mind. Now, most psychiatrists, psychologists, doctors might say that we have more than two parts of the mind, but for argument's sake, right now, we're going to just discuss the two main parts of the mind. Okay, we have the conscious, hopefully I'm spelling correctly, and we have the subconscious. You guys know what I mean. And I know on IG it's a little blurry. I don't know what that background thing is all about. I got to see what that's about. But the top half is the conscious and the bottom half is the subconscious. Now down here, this is the body. Our body is an instrument of the mind. Our body is an instrument of the mind. So whatever we think in our mind causes particular behavior. Okay? Whatever we think of in the mind causes a particular behavior. This is where habitual habits come into play. We are habitual beings. So our habits cause behaviors, right? So our conscious mind is our educated mind. It's our thinking mind. This is where ideas come in to the conscious mind. Our subconscious mind is our emotional mind. It's our emotional mind. So whenever we have an idea come into the conscious mind, and that idea gets a feeling behind it, and we become emotionally attached to an idea, that is when our body is going to take action. And ultimately, I don't have enough room here. That is when you're going to see results. Okay. Let me see if I can just. Okay, perfect. So let me go over that again. We have two parts to our mind. We have the conscious, which is our educated mind, our thinking mind. And we have our subconscious mind, which is our emotional mind. Now, ideas, yes, I could definitely send a picture after. I know it's blurry on IG. I'm sorry, guys. You can also go on the YouTube, follow Trade House Queens on YouTube, and this is live right now, as well as it will be on there afterwards. But if you're interested in getting a picture of this for your own studies, feel free to reach out to me. How do things get into our subconscious mind? How do we do things without thinking about them? When you go to tie your shoe as an adult, most adults, are you actually sitting there thinking consciously, okay, I have to pull, cross, loop-de-loop? You're not thinking about all of the steps to tie your shoes. You just do it subconsciously without thinking, right? How did this happen? How did you become so good at tying your shoes that you didn't even have to think about it anymore? It just became a habit. Does anyone know? Through constant spaced repetition. Constant spaced repetition. That is how things, ideas, get into your subconscious mind. So when an idea comes into your conscious mind, it may very well slip away. But if it's something that you want to work on, you capture that idea, you continue to think about it, you repetitiously say it, read it, write it, do it, until you don't think about it anymore, until it becomes so keen in your subconscious mind that it just becomes a habit. You want to be so particular and clear on your vision and your DMOs, your daily methods of operation, that it becomes a habit. That you don't have to consciously think, okay, I'm waking up at 6 a.m., not snoozing the button. You just wake up because your body knows, your mind knows, and you are emotionally attached with the thought that waking up at 6 a.m. is going to get you to your goals. Now, that might not be your story. I'm just giving you an example. If you have an idea that reading is part of your routine, but you don't do it every day repetitiously, you're not going to do it. Your results aren't going to change. If you are unhappy with the results that you are receiving right now, drop a 7 in the chat. Drop a 7 in the chat if you are unhappy with the results you're receiving. And I could attest to that. I'm dropping a 7 in the chat. I am not particularly happy with my current results. So guess what I'm doing? I'm changing my paradigm. We're running out of room here. Let's flip it. I am going to change my paradigm. For those of you that are new, if you don't know, sorry, people don't know I'm on a call. For those of you who don't know, shout out to I Am Women's, rocking my attire. A paradigm is a multitude of our habits. Why does this keep coming up? Our habits are so important. We have to continuously work on our habitual activities in order to change our lives, in order to get new results. My puppy is definitely not doing something that she should be, but we're going to ignore it. So In order, I see you laughing, Shauna. In order to change our paradigm, our multitude of habits, or our conditioning, we have to change our habits. We have to repeatedly change the activities that we're doing on a day-to-day basis, right? So if you're not reading, if you're not meditating, if you're not learning, if you're not doing the things that your mentors are telling you to do and you're expecting a different result and you're doing the same things over and over and over again, you are literally the definition of insanity. Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, is the definition of insanity. So if you want to achieve a certain goal, but you continue to do the same things over and over again, how are you going to achieve that goal? I'm sorry to tell you, don't shoot the messenger, just get the message, right? Doesn't matter who the messenger is, you just get that message. You have to change your actions. How do you change your actions? It goes back to the stick figure. We change our actions by changing our thoughts, right? If you guys are with me, drop a 9 in the chat. I know this is a lot. I'm trying to be basic. If you guys are still with me, drop a 9 in the chat. Thank you. So in order to change our paradigm, our mental conditioning, how we've been programmed to think, we have to change the ideas and thoughts coming into our mind. How do we do this? Instead of listening to that rap song in the car, which I know I love to do sometimes, I've been listening to audios. Instead of putting on Netflix at night and being all comfy, cozy, and comfortable and watching a show that's mindless, watch an educational video, listen to another audio, do a meditation. Can everyone hear me? I don't think it's muted. I think you guys can hear me. Feed your mind what you need to grow. Feed your mind. We are seeds. Feed your mind what it needs to grow. What do those things consist of? Healthy food, water, audios, educational content, positive influences. When you go on Instagram and you're scrolling, are the things you're looking at helping you to grow your mindset and expand your consciousness, or is it bringing down your frequency? When you scroll on Instagram, are you jealous and feeling depressed, or are you uplifted and feeling motivated? There's a big difference. Now, guys, excuses and reasons are the same thing. So I don't care what it takes for you to get to the point of feeding yourself different thoughts and ideas. It doesn't matter what it is. All it takes is the decision to want to change. Once you're able to make the conscious decision, once you think, I don't like the results I've been getting, I want to change them. And you say, I have made a decision to change. That's all it takes. Now you have to repeatedly do the things that make you uncomfortable. That might be waking up at 6 in the morning. It might not be. That might be instead of blasting rap songs in your car, putting on audios, listening to Bob Proctor, listening to Abraham, listening to Jim Rohn, Jordan Peterson. Sorry, IG. Listening to things that are going to enhance your success, expand your consciousness, instead of watching I don't know what's a popular show on Netflix. Like, I don't even know because I barely watch it. And I'm not saying to give up the things that you love, because we do have to rest. Rest is extremely important. I am a super advocate on rest, but you have to take action. You cannot just watch Netflix every single night and expect to have a better morning routine if you're binge watching shows till 3 in the morning. We're all guilty of it. I don't think one of you can say you're not. I am. And again, I'm not saying to give up the things you love, but sometimes we have to sacrifice the things we love to get the things that we really love. Right? Like, I know that binge watching shows till 3 in the morning, which I'm so guilty of doing. I'm so guilty of doing that. Is not going to prepare me to be a better leader. Is not going to prepare me to be a mentor, to be able to lead people. Oh, wow. There we go. It's clear on IG now. That's amazing. Okay. There are things we have to do that are gonna, in that moment, make us feel uncomfortable, but in a few days, a few weeks are going to pay off. Put yourself in uncomfortable positions in order to get the things that you want. Hold on. Coming soon, a better setup. Okay. So let's do a recap. We have 2 parts to our mind. If you don't know what the mind looks like, and again, if anybody does, please share that information with me, because that would be groundbreaking. I'm joking. So we have 2 parts to our mind. This is how you can see the mind when nobody else can. Because how do we think? In images, right? If I were to tell you, tell me what your fridge looks like, what do you do? If I said, tell me what your fridge looks like, in your mind, you are walking up to your fridge and you can literally see it in your mind's eye. Am I right or am I wrong? And you're able to tell me every single detail about that fridge. When you open it, what's the first thing that you see? Do you have it that it opens vertically? Do you have a freezer on the bottom? Do you keep soda in there? Do you have ice cream? Do you have water, fruit? What draws? You can tell me every single detail. What color is it? When I ask you, what does your vehicle look like? What does your car look like? What do you do in your mind's eye? You can envision yourself walking up to your car and you can tell me if it's 2-door, 4-door, what color it is, the interior, what engine it has, everything. Everything. But when somebody asks you to go tell me what the mind looks like, what do you say? Like I said earlier, most of us are inclined to think of the brain. The brain is a function of the mind. The mind functions throughout every part of the body, but the brain is not our mind. Our mind is an entity. Okay? And there's 2 parts. We have our conscious and we have our subconscious. Our conscious is our educated mind, our thinking mind. This is where ideas flow to us. Our subconscious mind is our emotional mind. Once an idea that comes into our conscious mind gets attached to a feeling. How many of you have ever heard the feeling is the secret? Because once you become emotionally attached to a thought or idea, once you become emotionally attached to a thought or idea, IG just got clapped, so make sure you guys get on the Zoom from now on. Once you get emotionally attached to a thought or an idea, that is when our body starts to respond. Okay, is this making sense? Our body is an instrument of the mind. So whatever the mind thinks and does, our body is an instrument of that, right? We start to walk in a different way, move, talk, act differently, which causes new results. So if you're looking to change your paradigm, your habits, your mental conditioning, what do you have to do? Change what you listen to, who you listen to. Change the things that are not serving you at this very moment. If you know that watching, and I just keep using this as an example, but there's so many, guys. If you know that watching Netflix is not serving you at this moment, give it up. Do a cleanse. You know, we were talking about over the weekend, I was talking with Zach about different cleanses that we do for our body. Why do we do cleanses? To get rid of the negative, to get rid of the yucky stuff that we've put into our bodies, so that we feel better, so that we can be more energized, right? So that we can think more clearly. So do yourself a favor and do a media cleanse if that's what it's going to take for you, right? Listen to more audios, watch more educational videos instead of entertainment. Do this for like a week. Test yourself. See how far you can take it. Right? But we are coming up to the 10-minute countdown. So I would love to tone it down. I know I was very high, vibrating high. I hope you guys were all uplifted and I hope you guys learned something tonight. If you guys liked what we spoke about tonight, please let me know. Drop some numbers in the chat. We can add on to this next week. There's a lot that we didn't speak about, a lot that I could add on to this. And I would love to do that for you guys. But for the last 10 minutes of the call, I would love to end off with a 10-minute meditation. I am in the process of creating my own meditations. I dabbled a little bit with this over the weekend in Palm Beach. If you guys were able to come, you got a little bit of a taste of me trying to do my own meditation. So soon to come, I'm going to be recording my own meditations so we can do that. But for tonight, I'm just going to do one of the usual 10-minute meditations. So if you guys would get into a comfortable position, If you would like to lie down or stay seated, that's totally up to you. Maybe turn a light off, turn your camera off. Get yourself ready for the meditation. Okay. One second. Maybe take a deep breath, get yourself in the motion.
She takes.
All right, guys, here we go.
Whether your day has just begun or you've been at it a while, I'm really glad you're here. This daily meditation is all about getting you grounded, helping you release judgment, and setting a clear and purposeful intention to guide you. Let's start by getting into a position that's comfortable enough that you can hold, but isn't one that you'd otherwise get tired in. Try to have an active posture so your spine is tall and your head is resting gently on your spine. Close your eyes, or if you're not comfortable closing them, just let them gaze gently downward in a neutral state. And begin to take slow, deep breaths, deeper than you've taken all day so far. Allowing each breath to begin to ease your mind, your body, and your heart. Welcome. This is your time to focus on you and make yourself your first priority. Notice the journey of the breath through your body, weaving through your cells and muscles and joints. Feeling the groundedness and connectedness there. Allowing that breath to ease and release any tightness or tension you may be feeling. Take notice of any judgments or triggers that may want to come up. Distractions are natural. So instead of judging the judgments, take a deeper breath in. And as you breathe out, allow the feeling to drift away gently with your breath. As you continue, beginning to allow the settling in of an intention based in kindness and assuming good intent and having compassion. Everyone has fear. Everyone knows uncertainty and doubt and self-criticism. To remember this in times when we have opposing views, feelings, or intentions with someone else. To remember that we're all human going through this together. And to remember that you are human and you don't have to be perfect. And from this settled, open, compassionate, and curious space, ask yourself, what is my intention for the rest of the day? How can I go about it in a way that's based in those places of kindness and compassion? As you sit for the next short while, allow yourself to be open to hearing whatever it is your mind, body, and heart need. Open yourself up to allowing this intention to settle into your unconscious so that your thoughts and your actions can be in alignment. As we come to the end of our time together, celebrate this time you spent on your well-being and let it inspire the rest of your day with curiosity, and maybe even a bit of playfulness. Now let's take 3 final deep breaths together, taking a deep inhale in, holding it for a beat, and exhaling it out. And again, an even deeper breath than the one before, feeling it weave in and out of your muscles and your cells, and exhaling it out. Last time, your deepest breath yet, sending that oxygen through your entire body and solidifying this intention. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Thanks for joining me for this meditation.
So you guys can slowly start to come back. Wiggle your toes, your fingers. Start to become more present. I want to thank you guys so much for another amazing week of Woke Wednesday. I'm super, super excited for what is to come. March Madness was incredible and is incredible, and I'm super excited to hear about all of your achievements. And I am excited about next week because I'm going to continue on the lesson from today. So, for those of you who don't follow me on Instagram, it's journey with underscore Jenna. If you got clapped on the Instagram, make sure that you're watching on YouTube. Follow us, the Trade House Queens, on YouTube. We do weekly calls aside from Woke Wednesday that I think you guys would really, really love. We have special guests, and that's really it for tonight, guys. If no one told you they love you today, I love you, and I will see you next Wednesday. Mwah.